Let me eat some of this mac and cheese. Sound like my stomach said eat. It's
Well,
hungry. Let me eat some.
It's so good.
It's good.
You're trying some of this, Renee.
No.
I did not bring the collard greens, though, because we ate them all.
My stomach said eat some food.
Why is it crispy and soft?
Because it should be.
Welcome to The Good Stuff by Brightsided. I'm Christine O'Donnell, and this is the place where we shine a spotlight on local people here in the 518 doing good. Why? Because sometimes the news in the world doesn't feel good, and we want to focus on the people in the community that we can interact with who are actually doing good stuff right now. And this episode is one of my favorite interviews that I've ever done. And I've done quite a few. So we interviewed Allie B from Allie B's Cozy Kitchen in Albany. And she also has this delicious mac and cheese that you can find in Market 32 Price Chopper locations across the state. So what's the deal with her food and why is she here on The Good Stuff? Because she has built herself up to be this amazing advocate for herself, for her community, and she feeds people, not just with her food, but with how she shows up in the world. And I just love this idea of getting to share her with you. Before we do, though, I want to tell you a little story. So the day this is coming out is March 24th. And if you've been following along my story at all, you know that this is an anniversary for me that is kind of a sad one. And on the day of, the day before I was going to interview Allie, I was kind of in my feels. And it's a drive from where we live to, it's like maybe a 40-minute drive from where we live to Allie's restaurant in Albany. And that I was just in my feels, listening to music on my way down. There might have been some tears. As you know, they happen sometimes when you're alone in the car, and it's a safe place to cry. The point is, I parked on the corner right out front of her restaurant. I opened my door and I could immediately hear just music coming out. So I hear this music. I walk inside and I am warmly welcomed by these two women, and they're kind of like looking at me like, is this a pickup order? Is this an actual client? Like who is this who's come into our restaurant? And we started talking a little bit, and part of me wanted to be like, I'm the one who's interviewing you tomorrow. But another part of me didn't want to make it weird. So I just kind of kept to myself, and then I told her that I really appreciated the music and that it just lifted my spirits and it made me feel more grounded and more connected. And it was just nice to have an in-person conversation. And she invited me to these community brunches that they do. And anyway, my family and I are very much looking forward to going. I brought the food home. Everybody loved it. It was delicious, including our two children, Asher and Ava, who are 5 and 7. They actually took part of what I was really looking forward to eating. But yeah, it was the whole experience was really great. And I am so glad that I went down, had that experience, and then came back the next day, met Allie, who did not recognize me at all because I was like all dressed up for the interview compared to how dressed down I was the night before to pick everything up. It's kind of like a Superman Clark Kent situation, but different. And anyway, some of the things that I really loved about this interview is that this woman has integrated her relationship with her mom and how loving her mom was and who she was to her in her life into her food. Like, it might seem corny, but she has found a way to cook comfort and cozy and love into her food in a way that I don't completely understand. I'd like to think it's butter, but it's probably more than just butter. This woman has given back to the community. She's been through very difficult things in her life, but it hasn't stopped her from shining. And I just think that she has the best outlook on life, and we all struggle sometimes. I find that when we're struggling to find our way through, our way on to the next thing, it's nice to surround yourself with people who do have that positive outlook. And she's just one of those people. We did some singing. We just had a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy this episode. If you haven't tried Allie B's mac and cheese, you can find it at your local Market 32 or Price Chopper. And you can also just drive to her restaurant, or you could put in an order and have, what is it that everybody does these days at Uber Eats? DoorDash. Yeah. So when I walked in, they thought that I was a DoorDash driver originally. And then they were like, oh, wait, I think this is actually the person who ordered the food. And I was. I was the person who ordered the food. So, but before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit more about the sponsor of this show, which is Girls Inc. And they have wraparound programming to build the next generation of strong, smart, and bold women. So if you have a girl who's in school here in the 518, there are these free services available to you where your daughter can get leadership training with Girls Inc. And it happens before school, it happens after school, and there's STEM programs. There are a number of different options, and you can find more information on that in the link in our show notes. So before we go to the episode, I also want to share with you who nominated Allie B, because the only way on this show is if you're nominated. And the answer is Ed Mitson. So Ed runs Business for Good. We interviewed him a few episodes back, and he is really a connector. He's somebody who's like, hey, when it's time for you to order out, if you run a business and you might need some catering, instead of going to like the big conglomerate who you always order from or a franchise restaurant, go to a local mom and pop shop or try Allie B's, because you can get likely the same amount of food or more for the same price, and it's going to blow your mind and make it's a conversation starter, and it nourishes you at the same time. So I hope you enjoy the episode as much as I enjoyed interviewing Allie. Last night, I went down to Allie's restaurant in Albany, and I ordered a bunch of food. Some of it is here in front of us. And she didn't know who I was, and I wasn't sure if I was talking to the Allie B, and I didn't want to be wrong.
It was definitely special.
Yeah. So I walked in. There was beautiful gospel music coming out, and we formed a connection.
Yes, we did.
That wasn't forced. That wasn't pretend.
And I wasn't sure if you was like a DoorDash driver when you came.
Oh, yeah?
I really didn't. I was not sure. And then I was like, well, maybe she's picking up her order. I said, she's picking up her order. After a while, when we started talking, I said, okay. Because first I thought you was the DoorDash driver.
Because I ordered it with DoorDash.
Yeah. I was like, okay, but no, I think this is her food. I'm just welcoming with everyone. Anyone that comes into Allie B's. Allie B's is the oldest soul food restaurant in the capital. It's only 12.
So when did you start it?
We started in 2014. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, I don't know what it is, but Black businesses have not last long in many places. And so we are 12 years old, and we're the bomb.
You are the bomb.
I started Allie B's with $5,000.
I don't know the story.
Okay,
so how
let me
did,
tell you this.
Why did you start Allie B's?
Well, I started Allie B's because it was my dream, my life dream.
And did you?
To open up Allie B's. I studied hospitality management, culinary arts. Thank God, because as I was speaking to Renee earlier, I was letting her know that, you need the tools of marketing and food and beverage, hospitality, law, so that you can make money. Okay, anybody can cook, but you also need knowledge so that the business run well. And so in 2014, I finally opened up Allie B's, and with $5,000. Now, before I opened up Allie B's, okay, I could not get a job cooking food anywhere. But I'm so happy that I didn't get the job. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Because I would have gave all my secrets away. But I'm a spiritual woman again. I think God did not want me to get the job. God just wanted me to get out in the world, work at restaurants so that I can see what happens at restaurants, so that I can be able to learn from these places. Like, for instance, when you work at Starbucks, they remember your name. And so at Allie B's, we want to remember your name. I like that. When a customer comes in, people want to feel like they're family. So working at different places like Walmart or the Hilton, these places gave me structure to take with me. And so I didn't work in the kitchen again because it wasn't meant for me to. So when I finally did open up Allie B's, I was a housekeeper. I had left my job and I didn't have a lot of money. I was a mother with 2 kids, a wife.
They were young.
They were very young. One was like 5. This is what I will tell you is that I got my income tax check. So when you are not making a lot of money, you get an income tax check.
Yes.
And that income tax check was about $9,000. So $4,000 went to my son's education. The other $5,000 went to Allie B's because my son was going to Albany Academy. But at the same time, like I said, I really didn't have any money. But I was still striving for the greatest. Okay?
Yeah.
Isn't that something that you have no money, but your son still goes to Albany Academy?
But you had this vision in your head.
Yes.
So you didn't let that go.
I didn't let it go.
No.
And I can remember my boss at the Holiday Inn saying, why don't you work here 3 days a week and you can work at your place the rest? And I said to her, I said, you know what? I can always come back here. But what I can't do is run a restaurant. Mm-hmm. So I left my job. I put all my faith into Allie B's. And my goal was to make $100 a day. Isn't that something?
It's a
$100 a day. I remember it like yesterday. I would get up 6 o'clock in the morning, walk down to the restaurant because it was like 4 blocks from my house. And every night I would get off at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a full shift. Every night when I would get home, we would make $300, right? Mm-hmm. You know, $200 had to go back to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I would take that $100 and put it up under my pillow. I remember when I got to $700. I can just remember taking that money, pushing it up under the pillow. Every night I would come home and count my money. And it was just so amazing. I started off with a house stove in the restaurant. And then eventually I was able to buy better appliances for the restaurant. But everything starts with something small. And 2 weeks in, the Troy Records had came into the story on me, okay? And that was like, took off. 2 weeks in of opening Allie B's. I was in front page of Troy Records. So Allie B's mac and cheese right now is in 122 stores, 6 states. So soon we will be in 50 states, thousands of stores in multiple countries. So the Troy Records, they came, did a story on us, put us front page. It was magical. I talked about in this article how everyone is going to come eat collard greens. It didn't matter what they look like. I said black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, they all going to come eat these collard greens. And guess what? They did. It just keeps getting better and better. And just so many people came to do stories on us. The biggest story, I think, was Elaine Houston, Today's Woman.
News Channel 13.
Yes. And that was just amazing. She continued to write us to Channel 13. Thank you, Elaine Houston. I had got Grubhub, and people started ordering food from Latham on Grubhub. Latham has a mansion district. The people from the mansion district started coming to the hood because they want to see what they eat. And when something is good, it's just good. Okay? So here go these people that were living in these big, big houses started showing up at Allie B's. And we knew they were ordering food because my wife would deliver food to them. And she had came back one day and she was like, guess what? You ain't gonna believe this. I was like, what is it? She was like, I just left a huge mansion. I was like, what? And it was like, yay, yay. We started yelling, yay, yay, because we were so happy that this different level class of people were ordering food from us. Because why? Allie B set in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the capital. And we all know that when different levels of class eat your food, it changes everything.
Was there a moment when you were like, someone came in and ordered food and you were like, I think this is going to work?
I always knew it was going to work.
Okay.
The reason why I always knew it was going to work is because I had nothing else. That was all I had was Allie B's. And I wanted so much more. It makes me emotional when I think about what I wanted. You know, when I was a little girl, like 15, I would sell food on the street. And so I knew I had a good product.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the product that I sold was so much bigger than me. I sold history. And everywhere I went, no one had history. People have soul food, but people don't have history. When I come to work at Allie B's, I cook the history of South Carolina. I cook the backwoods of South Carolina. The food that I cook, it belongs to the people, and it is the earth.
Can we talk about the mac and cheese? Because I'm starting to get hungry.
So let me tell you about this mac and cheese. What's special about this mac and cheese that we sell
Yes.
in 122 stores is that in 1784,
Okay, we're going back.
Thomas Jefferson had went to France. And when he went to France, he took his whole crew, even his enslaved, with him to France. And it was a young man named James Hemings. And James Hemings was Sally Hemings' brother. The story is that Thomas Jefferson, he was in love with Sally. That's the story. But back to James, right, in 1784, when they went to France, James Hemings, he was the first American. Now, he was enslaved, but it's not even about being enslaved. James Hemings was the first American to master the French cuisine and bring back the elegance of France. Now, the French created mac and cheese. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes. And when they created mac and cheese, they made mac and cheese with things like Swiss and provolone cheese. They were wealthy in 1784. They had 5 cheese mac and cheese. They had it all over there. But in 1789, when Thomas Jefferson came back to America and they brought back the mac and cheese recipe, we didn't have all of that wealth here in America. We had cheddar cheese. So when they made mac and cheese here in America, and the only place you can get mac and cheese was at Thomas Jefferson House. Because remember, he brought the recipe back. They brought it back, and this is the exact recipe. So when you eat this Allie B's mac and cheese, it belongs to my family, but also your family. Why? Because it's the original recipe of America. Now, when you Google this story, you can find it. When you Google this story, you can also find a recipe to make mac and cheese. This mac and cheese is baked in the oven. A lot of people, when they make mac and cheese, they cook it on top of the stove. That's because times has changed. In 1789, no one had a stove to cook on top. Everything was baked in an oven. So that's what's special about this mac and cheese is one cheese, one noodles baked in the oven, full of love the beginning of America. Everything we touch, we master. So the French created mac and cheese, but the Americans mastered it.
Maybe you mastered it.
Well, you know what? This is what happens with the mac and cheese. As things grow, as time passes, people change things. They want things easier. And there's nothing wrong with people wanting things easier. That's why the mac and cheese is in the supermarket.
So how did that happen?
How did it get in the supermarket?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I dreamt of being in Market 32 for 20 years. I know it sounds crazy. I believe if you believe in something so hard, but you also got to work, you got to put effort into it. And I find out that the Red Cross was created by a woman watching the Gilded Age.
Yeah.
And I found out that the Brooklyn Bridge was created by a woman. So I said to my wife, I said, you know what? I did not know the Red Cross was created by a woman. She was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. I was like, I want to be more invested in the Red Cross. I want to be part of the Red Cross. I called a friend of mine and I was like, I know you be having tickets to everything. I said, do you have tickets to go to the Red Cross Gala? I'm being honest with you. And they said, well, I'm going to call you back. Let me check. It was Lisa Mitza. Okay? And so she called me back and she sent me 2 tickets. When I get to the Red Cross Gala, I'm sitting at the table. My presence just wanted to be there. Who walks past me is Market 32. Now, mind you, when they walked past me, I did not know it was Market 32. They're like, hey, Allie B. They go in their pocket and give me a card. I look at the card. I said, wait a minute. Hello? And they look back at me. How can we help you? I said, yeah, you can help me. How can you get my mac and cheese in your supermarket? So they started to laugh and they said, email us. I get home that night. I email them. A month later, they invite me into corporate. And just like that, less than a year, the mac and cheese was in Market 32. 21 stores, then 26. And about a month ago now we're in 122 in 6 states. But as you can see, when you think about others, God has a journey for you. I wanted to be in the presence of the Red Cross. I wanted to and look, God had something there waiting for me. Why? Because I was thinking about someone other than myself. Isn't that something? It's not even a year later.
So we're almost at your 1-year anniversary.
Isn't that amazing?
Happy early anniversary,
I am.
Allie.
Thank
B.
you. And this is what we try to teach our children. We want you to think about yourself. But you also have to think about others. Like, what is it that you want to do to better this world that we're in? And we both know that all you have to do is show up. A lot of times you don't have to do anything. Just show up. Stand there. And when you stand there, there is someone is going to show up and give you a journey path, whether it's right or left, to do something to better yourself. So since I showed up, I could have been standing in the bathroom and the world would have found me because I was in that place of the Red Cross where the Red Cross takes care of millions of people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was meant for me to be part of the Red Cross, and the Red Cross gave me that journey because I care.
Yes.
If you care about others, you will get where you need to be. Share whatever your heart has to teach others. Hold someone's hand. I am successful because I have put others first. Isn't that something?
How much has your life changed?
My life has changed dramatically. I grew up in the projects where it was a time I was on food stamps. I was on Section 8. Now I provide housing to low-income families.
You know something that we love here at The Good Stuff? It is a leadership development program, and not just any leadership development program, a leadership development program specifically for girls. That's why I am so proud to share that Girls Inc. of the Greater Capital Region is one of the sponsors of The Good Stuff. Girls Inc. of the Greater Capital Region started in 1937. And since then, they have been empowering girls to reach their full potential, providing mentorship and life-changing opportunities for girls in Albany, Schenectady, Troy, especially girls that face real barriers like bias, trauma, and girls who have limited access to opportunity. From STEM-focused after-school programs to college and career pathways like the Eureka program, Girls Inc. is preparing girls not just to succeed, but to lead. And here's something we love. 83 cents of every dollar goes directly to programming, creating impact where it matters most, because when girls rise, communities rise. To learn more, to support their mission, or to get involved, head to girlsinccapitalregion.org. That's girlsinccapitalregion.org.
I like to play the gospel music to keep the community relaxed. We want to play something relaxing to get to people's hearts so that music reminds people to be positive. That's what Allie B's is. That's what I am. Positive. We want more. And the only way you can get more is by thinking positive. Listening to that music also keeps you from not being afraid. Because we all are afraid for something. Especially when you live in a community that needs so much more. So we play that gospel music. And I sing. I'm not really a singer, but I do sing.
What do you like to sing?
My favorite song is This Little Light of Mine.
This Little Light of Mine?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Growing up, being the youngest of 5, I guess I always wanted to let it shine. So that song stuck with me. It was easy, and everywhere I go, I let it shine. I just tend to leave myself everywhere I go. So wherever I go, someone is going to say, I remember her. And it's not because I want to. It's just that's what life has given me the ability to do, is leave a piece of myself everywhere I go.
Where does your strength come from?
My strength comes from my family. When I think about my mother, growing up in South Carolina, picking cotton, picking tobacco, living on a farm in Bennettsville, South Carolina. When I think about my father, growing up, I know very little about my father because he was adopted. And he knew very little about himself. And when I would ask him, where did you come from, Dad? He said, well, the only thing my dad said to me when I asked him, where did he come from? He said, I came from a place called Rosewood. So when your father's adopted and he tells you, I come from Rosewood, and you see that movie, it's like, wow, he was powerful. My father, he was a cowboy. And I lived in Harlem, and I would be so upset when he would walk in a room because he would have on cowboy boots, a cowboy hat. He even wore a wig, my father, with long wig with hair. He was so different than anyone that was in my community. So when you grow up with a man that is a cowboy in the middle of Harlem, very hardworking man that takes care of his family, a mother that gets up every day, provides for her family, cooks for her family, loves her family. And they had a routine where my dad came home every single day at the same time. Dinner was served on the table. We sat down and ate. And we lived in the projects. That's all I know is family to make me strong. I I love giving. I love working. I want to do different kinds of work. I have like 10 different jobs.
Also, where were you born?
I was born in Harlem, New York, Harlem Hospital. That's how Harlem I am. I grew up in the projects. Name of the housing development was called Jackie Robinson Housing Authorities. Um, when my mother brought me home from the hospital, she brought me home to Jackie Robinson. And all the little children, as she says, when I came home from the hospital, was waiting on me to come home. I know, pretty special. And still to this day,
All your brothers and sisters?
my brothers and sisters, but also the community. And still to this day, when I go home, my community waits for me. That's pretty emotional.
Yeah. I feel like that's not something a lot of people have.
Well, it brings tears to my eyes for joy. You know, I'm happy that when I talk about my community, they wait for me. They love me. Isn't that amazing? And I haven't been home, living at home for 20 years. I've been living here in the capital region. And this summer, I went home and I gave a community block party. I gave out food, I gave out toys, I gave out clothes, I gave out awards. When I go home, everyone, they call me Kizzy, even though I'm Allie B. Growing up, I did not like that name, Kizzy, because it was a movie or book about slavery. Growing up as an African American girl, no one wants to be part of slavery. But then as you get older, you value what the people before you fought for you for. So when people hear the name Kizzy, they know it's 9 out of 10. It is a black woman walking in this door because Kizzy was a slave. Kunta Kinte was Kizzy's father. And I'm her. I'm Kizzy and I'm Allie. Allie B is this woman who's dreaming for everybody. She doesn't give up. And Kizzy is this girl who believes in Allie B. Because we all need someone to believe in us. Kizzy keeps me going. Kizzy holds me together. Kizzy believes in everything that Allie B wants. So I have Allie B's Cozy's Kitchen, I have Allie B's Mac and Cheese, but I also created the Cultural Center. That is my nonprofit under Williams Francisco Initiative. And what we do with the nonprofit is we build communities through food, through resources like guiding people to go to college, helping people buy homes, helping people with jobs, helping the community believe in themselves, securing people if someone used drugs. We inspire them to go to rehab within 12 years. I count up the numbers, 100,000 meals. I have cooked 100,000 meals that I have just given away. It's like 20 times 200 for 12 years. And then you add on the 3,000 meals that we give away every Thanksgiving. Then every Tuesday, we give away 100 meals. Well, we deliver 100 meals to senior citizens throughout the capital region and whoever just comes to our door. Why do I believe in giving and feeding people? Because I know that stops crime. If someone is hungry, they're going to do whatever they can do to feed. But also, this is a real reason why I give away food too. When I was pregnant with my second son, I was in a shelter. And I had took my son to a place where they provide lunch. And he got sick from the food. Because sometimes when you go to these places, the food be old sometimes. So I said to myself, I want to change that. Because see, in New York City, when you go to a shelter, it's not because you have completely nothing. That's not why people go to the shelter in New York. People go to the shelter in New York City for a upgrade. Why? Because it's so expensive. Like living here in the capital region is so much affordable. When you live in New York City, rent was like $5,000 a month. So you need help to get that assistance. The shelter it wasn't a bad place. It was a clean place. I had my own apartment in the shelter. They give you a key, mailbox downstairs, elevator in the building. Every shelter is different. You know, I know they have shelters that are not right, but guess what? When a place is able to provide a roof to a family, they are there just for the moment. And they are there to learn so that when they leave, they can do better. Nothing is ever perfect in life. We have to make it better. You go there, you get your life together, and you build your family. And what I have learned is, don't judge people. You never know why people are in certain situations.
It might happen after school, in the car ride home, when your kid tells you about something they did that day, and you realize just how proud you are of them. And sometimes you wish the whole world could see it too. All across the capital region of New York State, kids are doing pretty amazing things. They're donating to charities, volunteering with local nonprofits, winning national competitions, creating art that ends up in museums and even on billboards. Others are competing in statewide chess tournaments, leading community projects, or finding small ways to make a big difference. But a lot of those stories don't always get the recognition they deserve, and we want to change that. If you know a student who's doing something good, here's how to nominate them to be featured on our show. Send us an email at thegoodstuff@brightsighted.com or post on social media and tag us at Brightsighted Media, because every kid doing good deserves to be seen.
Let me eat some of this mac and cheese. Sound like my stomach said eat. It's hungry. Let me eat some. I'm telling you the truth.
It's so good.
It's good.
You're trying some of this, Renee.
Yeah.
I did not bring the collard greens, though, because we ate them all.
My stomach said eat some food.
Why is it crispy and soft?
Because it should be. Again, you have to believe. You have to get out there, work every day, because people think that they're going to sit at home and someone is going to find them. You have to find what you are looking for. You have to put yourself in the room so that they notice you.
You got to be uncomfortable sometimes.
Yes. And you know what? This is what I would tell you. I'm always uncomfortable.
Are you uncomfortable right now?
No. When I first got here, I was nervous.
Oh, yes, of course.
But
yeah.
then
you met Renee.
Yes. And you guys just made me very comfortable. But I go places all the time that I'm nervous. I'm scared, and it gets better. But just like you said, you have to put yourself out there if you want more.
Yeah.
And no one, I tell everyone, no one is ever going to believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then people will follow behind you.
It's about building independence, right?
Yes.
And it's something I enjoyed that you shared earlier at the beginning of this conversation. So it might be a good thing to bring back to leave
Okay.
our audience with was you mentioned that everyone has two people inside of them.
Yes.
And Kizzy, your younger self, is part of you.
Yes.
Allie B is not only who you are now, but it's also the person you're aspiring to be.
Yes.
So it's you within yourself are giving yourself new goals for yourself to aspire to for the youngest version of yourself. So it's almost maybe like there's three people.
You're right.
The past one, the current one, and the future one. And you're all cheering yourself on at the same time.
And you know what else? Back to when you asked me earlier about like, how has my life changed? You know, I grew up in an environment where it was drugs, lots of killing. And if you go down the block, somebody got shot down the block. If you go this way, somebody was selling drugs. Even though through all of this, believe it or not, I still felt safe. Because I come from a place called East Harlem Triangle. So it was a triangle. But outside of the triangle was where things were happening. Mm-hmm. And where I live at now, there is no violence where I live at. The people don't knock on the door for sugar, because we used to knock on the door where I live at for sugar or milk or whatever else. The community is very quiet, silent. Where I grew up at, the community was very loud and fun. People were very happy where I grew up at. Now, where I live at now, you don't know if the people are happy because you don't know them. Isn't that something? That when you had less money, you knew how happy the people was. And now I have more money, and I don't know if the people are happy because you just see a house. You don't see inside the house.
Yeah.
Where I was raised at, you saw everything. Do I miss that? I do miss that. The childhood of that community. And that's probably why I build so much in Albany, especially in the poorest neighborhoods, because it reminds me of home. For my nonprofit,
Yeah.
64 Quell Street, that's where it's located. When I first bought that property, it was a cemetery. People were dying there every day, getting shot, I'm telling you, just like that. Shot, you can look it up. And since I've been there, no one has died. Now, they may get shot down the block, but people used to get shot right on that property, 64 Quell Street. But it just shows that when you are a present, people can't die or get shot or sell drugs where someone is there. And you know what else I tell people? White girls save lives, especially in the hood. Why do white girls save lives in the hood? Because when you go in the hood, you don't see white girls getting shot, okay? Not by the streets. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So when white girls come to West Hill and is on a corner promoting education, on a corner promoting jobs, on a corner promoting wellness, like for healthcare, because white girls are not getting killed in my neighborhood. But what white girls can do is can be a mother to a community that needs them. Do it make sense?
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Okay. But I want the white women to know they can find me. They can contact me at Allie B's Cozy's Kitchen, Allie B's catering at gmail.com. the cultural center at yahoo.com, because that's the name of my email,
Okay.
if they want to make change in the community. And guess what? It's not about money. I just need them.
Presence.
Yes. And if they want to give out some money, go buy my mac and cheese. I'm located in every Market 32. And so buy my product, because when people buy my product, listen, like 90% of my money go back to my community. Okay? And so that's what I need
Yeah.
to continue to take care of my community.
So this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. It got my face on it. And I will be back again. I done cried. I'm a very emotional woman,
Yes.
and I'm glad to be here today.
Emotion is power.
Thank you. And
Thanks
you
for
are
sharing
so
yours.
amazing.
Thank you. So are you. And I think that's something you reminded me of during this conversation, and I hope our audience hears it too, that there's a light inside of all of us, and you just got to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is it. Believe in yourself. And then when you believe in yourself, the people will follow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show today,
I
Allie.
love you so much. And I am your big sister.
Thank you so much for being here for this interview with Allie B and me. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us all the places where you listen to this show. And if you would like to nominate someone to be featured here on The Good Stuff, please send us an email at thegoodstuff@BrightSighted, Sighted spelled SIGHTED, brightsighted.com. For more information on Allie B and her restaurant and her mac and cheese, head to the links in our show notes. Thanks for being here, and keep your eyes out for the good stuff.